are going to start today's new lesson, determining the area of irregular shapes. We're going to start first with a quick review over some of the shapes that we went over this year, and some of them that you've been going over since elementary school. So we're going to start with this picture. Who can tell me what this picture looks like? If you had to say, ooh, that is a, what would you say it is, Ozzy?
That picture looks like, say, rocket.
A rocket. Okay, some people see a rocket. Who else? Does somebody see anything different than a rocket? Okay, Mr. Washington.
I see a house.
Okay, Mr. Washington sees a house. I can see a rocket, I can see a house. I can see a few different things in this picture. But this picture is made up of geometric shapes. And let's see, can we go in and identify some of these geometric shapes that actually created this picture? What do you see, Mr. Carter? Okay, we see some triangles. What would you classify that triangle as? It's a triangle. If there are 6 types of triangles, which one of the 6 types would this triangle be? An equilateral triangle. What is an equilateral triangle?
Equilateral triangle is a triangle that has equal sides.
An equilateral triangle is a triangle that has all the sides are equal. That is correct. Okay, so we got 2 triangles. What else do you see? What other shape? Mr. Urquhart.
Circle.
You see a circle, Mr. Urquhart. How do you know it's a circle?
Because there is no sides.
There are no equal sides. So there are no sides on the shape. That is correct. What other shape do you see, Mr. Crumpton? Besides the triangle and the circle?
I see a square.
You see a square. And what other name do we call squares, Malia? Help her out, Joy. What's the other name for a square? It has 4 sides. It's a quadrilateral. So a square is also called a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral has 4 sides. There are 6 types of quadrilateral. A square is one of them. What is the other quadrilateral we see in this shape, Josh? A rectangle. So we see a rectangle, we see a square, we see a circle, we see a triangle. Now, there's another shape that doesn't fit in the neat category of triangles and quadrilaterals. Which one shape am I referring to? Keep on.
You're referring to the star.
The star. The star does not fit into any of the classifications that we give our shape. We can look at the star though and count the sides and determine what its name will be. So let's count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's a 10-sided shape. What do we call a 10-sided shape? Josh.
We call a 10-sided shape a decagon.
A decagon. So we classified by the name. But we don't put it in triangles and quadrilaterals. We say decagon. So a star is one of those irregular shapes that I was talking about. Because when we're trying to find the area of a triangle, we need to know 2 things about that triangle. What are the 2 things we need to know about? What we tell you? In order to determine the area of the triangle, there's 2 things we need to know.
The base and height.
We need to know the base and the height. So if we had a rule, we could measure the base and we can measure the height of this triangle, and then we could determine the area. When we're determining area, what are we finding out about the shape? What does area tell us, Joshua?
The space that is inside of the shape.
It tells us the space that is inside of this shape. Well, how much space is covered by this shape? So we can find the area of this triangle by using the half of the base times the height, which is the expression or the formula that is used to find triangle. What about this square? How do we find the area of the square, Maria? What do we do to find the area of the square?
Take all the sides and
All of the sides into the second power or one of the sides? One of the sides, that's right. So we take the side and we would square it to the second power, and that will give us the area of the square. What about the rectangle, Maya? How will we get the area of the the length of the rectangle times the width. Now, so those are some of the ways that we can find the area of these shapes: the square, the triangle, and the rectangle. Now let's go back to that star. What can we do to the star? First of all, we look at it, Kevin, and we don't see any. It's not a shape that we can say, okay, here's the expression. I can't take the base, I can't take the height, but I look at the star. What could I possibly do to the star to figure out how much space it takes up? Mr. Crompton, Kevin.
You see the little triangles, you can like cut it.
Cut it? What do you mean?
Well, like take it.
Break it apart and make what? Some triangles? How many triangles can I make? About 5 triangles? Okay, let's see. Let's take it. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once I do that, then what kind of shape am I left with in the center? The table. A pentagon. Now, is there a formula, or do we know how to find the area quickly using an expression or formula for a pentagon? So what do we need to do to the pentagon? Joshua.
We can cut that up into two rhombuses and a triangle.
We can break it up into 2 rhombuses and a triangle. How do you find the area of rhombus? A rhombus is a quadrilateral. Well, how would we find the area of a
The
rhombus?
reference sheet ain't saying.
Reference sheet is not there, so let's think about it. What does a rhombus? It's kind of like a square.
It's like a rectangle, so multiply length times width.
Length times the width. Okay. Anybody else? What other shape on your reference sheet is a rhombus similar to?
A trapezoid.
A trapezoid. Okay, it is 4 sides. Okay, and is there a reference? Is there a formula for trapezoid? What is the formula for finding the area of trapezoid?
1/2 the height times base 1 for the base 2.
Okay, so we can kind of break the shape up into some other shape. Kevin, you have another shape we can use probably for
A parallelogram.
a parallelogram. And how do we find the area of a parallelogram? Base times the height. So we can take this shape and break it up into shapes that we are familiar with and shapes that we already know how to find the area. So once we break this up into 5 triangles, find those areas. Then we're going to break that pentagon up and 2 shapes and find that area. And what do we need to do with all those areas once we find them? Travion. Add them all together to come up with the total sum for this shape. So that is basically what our objective is for today, is to take these irregular shapes, break them up, and find the total area of those shapes. We're going to start by looking at a map of the world. So we've seen some picture that someone else has drawn. We've taken this picture and broken it up. When we look at this, we have all of the different states in the United States. We have Canada. I think Canada's on there. Yes. We got Canada. So, but when we look at these shapes, or we look at this map, we see geometric shapes. And if we needed to find the area of these geometric shapes, what could we do? Well, how could we find the area, let's say, of white horse? Here. What could we do to white horse?
It kind of looks like a triangle.
Kind of looks like a triangle. So come show me where you see the triangle. Okay. So we could break it up into a triangle, find the area of this shape as a triangle. Would that be the exact area of this? No. So what would we be doing if we broke it up into a triangle? If we don't have the exact area, we would have an estimate of what the area would be. So if we were to take these states in North America and break them apart into shapes that we were familiar with, we would not get the exact area. We would get an estimate area. But we could take each one of these and break it up into shapes and find the area using the formulas or expressions used to find those particular areas. Okay, so let's take this information and let's look at the sheet that is on your desk. On the sheet, before we go to the open response, let's look at this. This particular shape says, what is the total area of the figure below? So I want you to take a few minutes to look at this shape. And on your piece of paper, on the back of the open response, I want you to determine what you think the area would be for this shape. Question number 3. Determine what you think the area would be. Is it a regular shape? No. How many shapes do you see in this shape? Jatavion? 3. He sees 3. I could see 2. So it could be various. So everybody take about a minute, break it apart, come up with the area. I see everybody getting this rectangle over here in this section. It's easy. They found an area. See, little people struggling with that triangle. We know the formula for finding the area of the triangle is half of the base times the height. We see the height is what? 7. Now we just need to know what the base of that triangle is. 12. He says 12. Who disagrees or agrees? Joshua.
I disagree.
You disagree? What do you think the base of it is?
I think it's 24.
You think it's 24? Tell us why.
Because the parallel side to the rectangle is the bottom of the triangle.
So if this is 24, then this is 24. But if you break it up, go ahead, Kevin.
But then you can break it up like it is. Like split it and then half of 24.
And that's good. So that's another way. Remember when we first started, some people said they saw 2 triangles, some people said they saw 3. So if I break it up into 2 triangles here, that means this will be 12 and this will be what? 12. But they both will have a height of 7. But if I only use 2 shapes, then this whole triangle right here would be, the base would be 24 and the height would be 7. So either way, you will get the same answer. It's just how you see it, how you want to break it up to come up with a solution. So, who has an answer and they would like to share what they got? Joshua.
I have 228 square inches.
He has 228 square inches. Tell us how you broke it apart. Did you break it up into 2 shapes or 3?
Broke up to 2 shapes.
Into 2 shapes. And what did you get for the area of the rectangle?
144.
He has 144. Did everybody get 144 for their rectangle?
Yes.
Okay. And then for the triangle, what did you get? 84. And you only used the whole triangle again, so you got the sum of 228. Did anybody get a different answer? So everybody got B, 228 square inches. Did everybody? Nobody saying anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody gets 228 square inches. Okay. So the correct answer is B. That is correct. Okay, now let's look at this open response. In this open response, Melanie wants to plant. You have this sheet, turn your sheet on. Melanie wants to plant a vegetable garden. It's 2 different garden plots as shown in the figure below.